Hello, everybody. Welcome. So I am here with Jonathan Glapion and Daniel Henriques from Image Comics, The Curse of Sherlee Johnson. And we are here to talk about the new book and also some exciting news about the next issue, number 3, having a cover by a comic book legend, which we will get to that in a few minutes. But to start with, I like to keep things easy right off the bat. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about just kind of what the book is about for people who may not be familiar with it, and what kind of is what's your role and what do you love about working on it? Let's start with something like that.
You want to go, Jonathan, or
no? You go ahead and go.
Okay, so the Curse of Sherlee Johnson, it's a completely new book that stands on its own 2 feet per se, but it is part of the Spawn universe, and it derives from Spawn 5, which is quite a while ago because Spawn is at 360 something at this point, and it follows the story of a little girl, Sherlee Johnson, that was the last victim of Billy Kincaid. So that's the last we see of her, and in our story we imagined what if she actually didn't die there, because in the issue we saw Spawn entering and he like does his justice and beats Billy up and all of that, but we never hear back. We just assume she died, but what if she didn't right away? And our story starts with that. She's stuck on this loop, dying over and over again, and seeing Spawn come in, this hero of hers, and he never saves her. He just kills the bad guy and goes, and she's been stuck on this loop forever. And then this is a bit, tiny little bit spoilerish, but we're going on issue 3. But then, because of Spawn's time rip, necroplasm explosion, something happens that brings the stranger and Sherlee together. It breaks her being stuck on that loop, and it starts their journey together. So I don't want to spoil any further than that. That's the beginning of the story, and I'm writing it, and I'm like, me and Jonathan co-created everything together. And again, Jonathan is doing all of the art.
Great. And so I'm curious, if I may, then, what that means, because that's obviously a character, like you said, from way back in Spawn's run. I mean, issue 5 is a long time ago. How did it come about to revisit her story of all the stories that have taken place in Spawn? What kind of sparked you guys to say, hey, let's go back to this character?
I'm gonna take this one because I'm the one who reads Spawn. Jonathan, we got together after the fact per se with that idea.
Sure.
For me, was going through it, and again, Spawn is an anti-hero. He's not your normal hero. He tries to do good, but he doesn't really pay attention or care how he does it. And it always felt to me, and it was literally like this more horror thing that I really thought that. Like, I read the issue, and Billy tortures her, cuts her fingers, and all of that, and we know that he used to put the kids in this like ice box or fridge or whatever, and it made me think, like, what if she was alive? What if she actually didn't die? She's on the brink of dying, and through a little crack in that freezer, she can see this hero coming up, and she thinks she's about to be saved, and he just kills the bad guy and leaves, does not care at all for looking for her. So I always thought that was room for something, in the sense of, what are the consequences to Spawn's actions of not being a hero? Because not like he did it on purpose. He was just trying to do it. He didn't know, but at the same time, he didn't act heroically enough, and it opens the doors to consequences. And, Sherlee Johnson is now going to be one of those consequences, wherever her story, keeps going and crashes with Spawn's, perhaps, because again, it's Spawn, Billy Kincaid, Clown. We can see even by her look that it's all connected, and we'll get to all of those answers. So what she's doing now, because this takes place in the current time, this story that's happening right now, and it's all explained, but it's right now. So the consequences to what Spawn did, in 91 or 92 will now come back, maybe to haunt him, to accompany him. Like, we'll see how the story goes, but that was pretty much what sparked it all. And then talking with Jonathan, we started coming up with this cool visuals, and just the stuff that Jonathan is doing is like even inspiring all of the universe, to be honest. So
I think go ahead, the important thing I don't want to leave out, that fans should know, that they don't have to have read any of Spawn to jump on board for our book.
Right.
It's connected to the Spawn universe, but it's not a Spawn book. It's its own thing. We wanted to yeah, we have that character from issue 5, but you don't ever have to have read issue 5 or any of the issues.
Right.
But if you had, you'll see all of these little breadcrumbs left, and you'll understand certain things. But for me and for us, it was about expanding our universe in a way that we were allowed to create new characters that were a lot different than what you're used to seeing when there's a new Spawn title.
Right.
So we wanted to give new characters, breathe new life into the Spawn universe.
Yeah, and I guess just to add to that, because I've been a bit conditioned to all of the things that we were doing for the book, and we were hiding where the book takes place. But I mean, we're up to issue 3, because what we're doing is exploring a different corner of the Spawn universe, which is Hell. Our story takes part entirely in Hell. You know, Spawn goes in and out. But we're actually being able to explore, add to it what happened, just join into all of it. So we're definitely expanding that corner that hasn't been very talked about.
Absolutely. Great. And hello, looks like Todd has joined us. Hi, Todd.
Howdy. Are you guys recording?
Yeah.
Okay. I got to disappear. I was just going to tell you, I got to disappear. Give me 2 minutes. You guys keep going. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Sounds good.
So let me see. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So John, thank you for clarifying, both of you on that as well. Jonathan, your the artwork is amazing. I agree with what Danielle said. It is really above and beyond, I think, what we're used to seeing even. And the Spawn universe, I think one of its hallmarks is the visual. The artwork is always, top of the line. What was sort of your approach? Were you just setting out like, I just want to be awesome, or did you kind of take a new sort of mindset, like I want to try to do something completely different with this book, or is it just, business as usual? I'm an awesome artist. That's the end of it.
Well, there's Spawn's had some great artists. There's some big shoes to fill. I worked with one of them for, over a decade, Greg Capullo. So, as far as like, I'm probably more insecure than people probably think as far as that goes. So I didn't necessarily just hit the ground running. I had to kind of find myself, find my footing. So I think now I feel like I found my stride and kind of the look that I feel comfortable with. So, you try to be awesome, but you just try to do the work that hopefully you like to do.
Yeah.
And I try to hopefully, not worry about too much whether someone likes what I'm doing or not, because at the end of the day, you can't please everyone. So if I'm making myself happy, then it's a bit easier to move on to the next page.
Sure. That makes sense. Okay. Well, hello, Todd. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I also have a toy company, and somebody double booked me.
Yeah.
I'm on like comic book and toy patrol going, I've got a conflict here. I didn't know you guys were going live so quick. So sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I've interviewed you a few times before the past couple of years, and I know that your schedule is always super busy. So we kind of said, well, we'll just get started, and then whenever you have time to join, you join.
Good.
Hold things up that way. So
I'm always late.
Yeah, no worries. It's okay. To be fair, you seem like a fairly busy guy, so I think you make an exception. So Todd, since you're here, let me ask you. One of the sort of driving points that from the communication I received from the press, beyond just, of course, the book being exciting, was the news about Frank Miller doing the cover for issue 3, which is obviously a big deal. So let's talk about that just for a second. What you and Frank have worked together before, but not for a long time. How did it come about that you got Frank to do the cover, and what was it like inking him for your version of that cover? Because there's the two different ones, which is pretty awesome.
Well, yes, Frank and I have been friends for a very long time. The actual impetus for this exact cover is thanks to Daniel. Daniel had been working with Frank, doing some work with him on some of his books at his studio. So they'd built up a friendship. Frank, is an advocate of trying to help other people as much as he can, right? It's sort of the cool part when you establish your own career that you can start sort of paying attention and having fun and helping others along the way, because we all needed breaks when we were all beginning.
Right.
So Daniel was like, "Hey Todd, I might be able to get Frank to do a cover, and hey, would you want to sort of participate somehow?" And I think it was just the enthusiasm of Jonathan and Daniel wanting to sort of have as much attention on their books, which they should, because I think it's a stunningly good book that adds a different flavor to the Spawn mythology, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Spawn fan, I think you'll dig it. If you go, what do I care about Spawn? I still think you'll dig it. You don't have to know Spawn. It's a cool book in and of itself. But that was it. And then, so intellectually, you go, who doesn't want to have Frank Miller helping you on your book? And then, the sort of the geek part of all of us is like, oh man, we got Frank Miller. We get to work on Frank Miller, right? Even me, I worked on it. Look, at the very first time I ever did anything with Frank was I actually did background inks on the Dark Knight, right?
Right.
A few pages.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was sort of like a highlight for me, even though I'd been in the industry for years. I was like, man, I did those soup cans, right? So anytime you can sort of bud up with people that you've admired since the first time you bought a comic book, which I did. Frank broke in long before I did. It's just fun. So whatever Daniel and Jonathan are feeling, like ditto for me too. It's still Frank Miller. I mean, he is a friend, but still Frank Miller. Jonathan and Daniel both know it. He's a friend of theirs too. But it's still Frank Miller at the core. So yes, the answer is yes. Let's go. The question was, what could we do to make it fun on top of it, right? We're already excited, so let's have fun while we're doing it.
Sure. And I'm curious about, your cover of your inks over him is so different from his version of it, but your styles are so different too. Is it more challenging to ink somebody whose style is so different than yours, or is it the same process you use no matter who you're inking?
Yeah. So two things, and they're actually pretty good questions there. The change from Frank's to mine was unintentional until it became intentional. So we can talk about that in a minute. I'll circle back to that. I mean, you've got two great inkers here, so I'm sure they have an opinion one way or the other. You're not trying to apply the way you draw and or ink on somebody's pencils. You look at their pencils and then you go, how do I sort of adapt my stuff to them? Right. Because I believe that like it should always look like the penciler. At the end of the day, from 5 feet away, it should still be recognizable as that artist's style.
Right.
So, but I also tell people, hey, if you're busy, just give me rough pencils. I'll come in there and do whatever. Frank gave some rough pencils in certain areas. And this is where the change came. I made interpretations, and I usually hit them. I usually hit all the interpretations. I pride myself on being able to, but I misinterpreted some stuff, and it wasn't the first or second inning of the ball game. I was doubting myself. It was like about inning 4 that I went, God, you know what? Maybe we're not playing baseball. Maybe this is football. Like, I don't know. So I got somebody to send me Frank's cover that he had inked and colored. Mm-hmm. And then I went, wow, I way misinterpreted that. So I had two choices. I either go back and redo it.
Right.
Or I just go, no, it's kind of, I thought it was kind of coming out kind of cool. Right. Yeah. And I go, and it's different than Frank's. We can then start making lemonade out of lemons at that point. Because I'm like going, oops, I screwed up. How do we make it cooler? And so I just went, I'm just going to finish it with what is in my head. And here's basically what I end up doing at some point. Frank's is like Sherlee Johnson to me, sort of with earthly sort of look, if you will. I converted it to like a hellish look. All the three heads at the bottom are the clown, and then to me, sort of two demons, right? Yeah. And given that Sherlee Johnson's in hell at this current point in her story, it was like, oh yeah, I can sell this. Like, you know, here's the hell version, here's sort of the earth version, here's Sherlee, whatever. And then I send it to Daniel and go, see if Frank likes it. The worst part would have been if he was like, and then you have to redo the whole thing all over again. Frank, Frank's a good sport. We all are. I think anybody would have just gone, oh man, that is different. That's actually the fun part of it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at. So people, I think in hindsight it'll actually work better, because if they buy both, it won't be like just a slight variation of it.
Yeah.
There will be some big visual side-by-side differences that you can go, yeah, it was worth me getting both.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool when I saw the preview images. That I was like, oh, well, there's the clown, and there, and that wasn't on the other one. So
yeah, because let me just say, I thought it was a clown the whole time. I just noticed some of the lines.
Right.
I thought it was a clown. And the only thing is I'm inking it. I actually then go, Frank, I understand Frank doesn't know Spawn mythology. He, right. like clown doesn't have eyeballs, right? So it's like I have to white out the eyeballs and then whatever else. And then they sent it. It was like, oh, he put eyeballs because it's not the clown. No. So Frank was actually right. I was wrong. Right. But what are you going to do?
But the fun thing about that, I'm sorry to interrupt. The fun thing about that is and it's directly connected to Sherlee, and the way it ended up being is actually even better, because again, what Frank drew was Billy Kincaid. You have Billy Kincaid on one cover, and then you have Clown on the other with Shirley's makeup. Again, there's clearly the connection. So actually, again, this whole kind of miscommunication kind of thing worked out for the better, because it ended up even more personal for Sherlee, for the story of Sherlee.
Absolutely. So, you mentioned something interesting, Todd, right? I mean, we're looking at here, we have, Daniel, you're writing, Jonathan, you're doing full art, Todd, you're inking the cover, you're the publisher, but you are all inking like Mount Rushmore of inking, right? Do you guys ever, I don't know, like flex on each other or have a competition to see whose pages are the best, or just like, do you ever get into like an inking battle of the wills or anything like that?
I'll go first and then you guys can jump in. I don't. No, the answer is no. Okay. We don't do that. What I do though is look at their stuff and get jealous. And I'm not saying it because they're here, but when you come up and look at other sort of the greats of inking, you just go, man, because when you're looking at their artwork, and this is true for me, that there are things that both Jonathan and Daniel do that I can't. Right? We all have our chops. Let's call it that. We all have our line. We all have our thing. And I see stuff and I just go, man. I remember years ago when I used to look at Scott Williams and Terry Austin. As much as I admired it, and I tried to emulate it, I couldn't throw the line the exact same way. And so it's no different when I look at pencilers and I go, man, they do shadows and mood way better than I can do, and anatomy way better. And so I just admire the beauty of their work. Going, so you can go that thin, or you can do that thing. Jonathan uses a slightly different brush too, so he gets a technique that it doesn't matter. There's no way I can emulate. I'm not even using the same type of brush. So that's what I do. I try to do the best I can, and then look at other people's stuff and go, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, cool. How about you guys?
Well, for me, when I started out, my career started out with Todd. Was assisting inking with Chance Wolf, and so I used to get pages that Todd worked on, and then some of them would come to us to finish up some things. So I remember I always had a front row seat to studying Todd's line.
Sure.
But he has such a unique hand and style to his how he inks.
Yeah. That
I think some of it is unfairly connected to him being left-handed, maybe. So I can't ink left-handed. So I was never going to be able to. I could come close. Close. There was a few times where I think I fooled Todd a couple of times. But no, it's there's no competition. It's just like we get together and sort of nerd out over the tools we use,
right,
or the line and the where and why, more than like, oh, look at this, I kicked your ass. I mean, I a little bit of that competitive, spirit that keeps you kind of
technique. How do you get that white splatters? Look, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So so that's a bit of that.
Cool. For me, sometimes it's not even just that, because again, sometimes, and I occasionally help, Spawn here and there in some of Brett's pages, which I've heard Todd talk many times. Brett Booth, again, amazing artist, doing great work and insane on the detail that he puts. So knowing that Todd also inked Brett and that he inks, and sometimes I send the page in and Todd's reply will just be like, you missed a line. That for me, as knowing that Todd is an inker as well, is the acknowledgement of congratulations, you survived that page, and it makes it
special. I've used that before on inkers that I know that was just laborious, this page. It put like 2 million lines on it. My comment, instead of going, everybody else is sending them like, oh, super awesome, awesome. And mine is pretty good, but in the top left corner, I think you missed one of the cross hatches.
Oh, that's amazing. I can only imagine what that must feel like.
The longest hour of inking is right before the hour before you're done.
Yeah.
That the page is like right there.
And
you got maybe another 30 minutes to an hour left. It feels 5 hours, depending on how you're inking.
Yeah.
It just stretches forever.
Okay, I'm gonna show you how stupid I am. And I've been doing this long enough that it's like, Todd, stop it. And there's gotta be a way I can lock it out so I can lock myself out from being stupid, right? So I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is a wrist and partial of a hand, right? If you and I were to sort of look at it, there's probably, I don't know, like 1,000, 2,000 lines in there, whatever. And then look at the thumb. The thumb, it's got, okay, here's the stupid part. That hand and that wrist is going to be on a comic book cover.
Right.
And the drawing is almost a full body.
Right.
So what you just saw is going to be printed about that big. As a matter of fact, I do stuff where actually when I bring it down to scale, my eye can't focus on it. It's like it's so much that it almost feels like it's blurry.
Yeah.
Right. And like if I put it on the side of a truck, then it would really, that'd be about the right appropriate size, right? I can see it all that's in there. This was the one thing about when I did it completely on paper, I couldn't change size. You just have to figure it out. And it was I was way more smart than that. Digital now, you can blow stuff up, just allows you to be dumb if you want. And I'm at this point, I still am like way too dumb. But I ever turn it into a poster, it's going to hold up.
That's right. That's amazing. All right. Well, I know we're running short on time. Todd, I had asked earlier before you got on if you guys were game to do a quick lightning round of just some fun questions that are just kind of quick. You guys can sort of shout out answers. Is that okay?
Do it.
All right. So basically, this is my who wins in a contest between the three of you. And I don't. You guys can answer however you want. You can claim it, or you can tell somebody else. Who wins in a foot race between the three of you?
Wow.
Todd.
I was an athlete, and the one thing that kept me going, that got me my scholarship, was my speed.
Okay.
But I'm in my 60s now, and damn it, I've lost like a step. Now, like I actually run against 30-year-olds, sometimes 25-year-olds. Go, let's go, and they're starting to beat me now, right? And it's breaking my heart. So I don't know how fast these guys are because I've slowed down a little bit. But if they're not kind of naturally quick, then like even with a lost step or two, I'd still take them on.
All right.
I used to run track in school. So, but then I got into comics. So
and
I reversed everything.
Yeah, you all know what that means.
Say no more.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will just quickly say, as a 40-year-old who really likes pastries,
right, that's fair. I think you'd all beat me. Who wins in a game of Trivial Pursuit between the three of you?
A game of what?
Trivial Pursuit, or any trivia contest.
Oh, definitely not me. No.
I tend to be okay in those.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm my wife bugged me because you don't read any books. You don't read. And I'm like, how can you be a writer and you don't read? And it's like, her name's Wanda. Wanda, I read all day long. It's just that I read a little bit of like 100 things.
Right.
So I'm like Daniel. We're probably both just dangerous enough to know a little bit about a lot of silly topics.
Sounds good.
So it might be even on that one then maybe.
All right. Who of the three of you wins in a hot dog eating contest?
Daniel.
I can claim that one. I can claim that one.
Yeah,
I've been practicing.
Sounds fair. Which of you wins at a round of golf?
Oh, I'll lose. I never played golf.
Okay.
I've been told, Todd, you're the shittiest golfer that doesn't care. because I lived in Phoenix where you could go every day, but I'd go like once every 3 years or something like that.
Right.
Because again, it takes 5 hours, and I know I'm terrible. Why would I get up on any day of my life and go, you know what? I'm really terrible at this activity. I'm going to do it for 5 hours. Right. Sometimes for charity or whatever, I go out there. But I am telling you, I have never hit a ball straight.
Okay.
I am dangerous out there, so maybe we'd all be kicked off.
Okay, that's good. I'm terrible too. We'd make a great foursome. We'd get like 20. How about a spelling bee? Who wins in a spelling bee?
I'm Portuguese, so I would lose.
Okay.
If it's any indication, whenever I tweet something, I have my wife check it.
Okay.
And I'm probably a B at best, on my best day, a B+ speller. Right?
Okay.
So my wife would win that one for sure.
Okay, that sounds good. And then finally, who wins in a fastest drawing contest? Which one of you finishes a page the fastest?
I lose.
Okay. Or inks it, either way, inking contest.
Wow, don't you think? I'm going to pose this to the gentleman here because I think it's a good. Like, aren't we all just sort of the mother of necessity? That like, if somebody gives you 10 hours, you get it done in 10 hours. If somebody gives you 4 days, you get it done in 4 days. Like, we adapt how we draw. We're not always proud of the level of quality at given time, but somebody gives you 2 hours, right? And they go, it's got to go to the printer. You do the best 2 hour job you can do.
Makes sense.
So I'm going to guess that all of us, if you gave us the same page and said, hey, y'all got 6 hours, because we're all neurotic, we would finish it all up 1 second before that 6 hours.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, last thing then, anything else any of you would like to add about the Curse of Sherlee Johnson before we sign off?
I'm proud of the book. Let me just say, and again, I'm biased, and I understand what I'm about to say because it's like, Todd, it's your book, of course, right? So I don't believe in like overselling, right? What I like to do is just sort of say, hey, put out quality stuff. Hope you go take a look at it. Everybody has their own personal taste or whatever else. But I can honestly say that this book is unique in and amongst the Spawn universe mythology. So people who like Spawn or the mythology will enjoy this book. People who go, I don't give a shit about Spawn, Todd, like whatever. When are you coming back to Spider-Man? Right? You can still pick this book up, not have any real background, in-depth background on Spawn, and it still will you're in it. And you could, I'm hoping very shortly, come up to me and go, hey, Sherlee Johnson's the coolest book that you put out, Todd. I don't even collect the others. You could do, and I find all of that rewarding, right? Because my job for what I do, both creator and then as a production house, is to just give a lot of choices to people and let them decide. I couldn't do a book like this. I'm not capable of doing a book like this creatively, right? So I have to find people who will deliver something that I can't, and and I think both these gentlemen are doing a tremendous job. So I please just, even if you just go to the comic shop and just thumb through it, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at what's in the inside of these comic books. Forget that we're doing some nice covers. Take a look at the inside. I think it's a surprise book.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. Anybody, you guys want to add anything real quick before we wrap up?
Good.
Okay.
No,
all right.
Just big thanks to Todd for helping on the cover, and then Frank.
Yeah.
For doing
it. That will be issue 3 out soon with some amazing covers by all of you, I believe, actually. So very exciting stuff. So
yeah, well, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Lots of good to choose from. So thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate all of your time. Congrats on the success of the book, and we'll hopefully talk again soon.
All right.
Thanks for your time, Mike. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Take care.